Welcome to Power Hour, where the editors of Powersports Business interview the movers and shakers of the powersports industry. Say, hey, we're on the podcast. We got Mike Martinez here from Yamaha.
Awesome.
So, Mike, thank you for coming and thank you for doing this.
My pleasure.
A lot of people know you, especially in the media side. We've, been on some of your events and gotten a million emails from you over the years, which is good. You're like a professional spammer, at this point. But no, I mean, all serious aside, what did you think, in your, how does it feel to be like, I'm retired? Like to say, was this something you had marked on the calendar, like circled this date, or is this like, I think it's time?
No, I would say I probably chose the fact that I was going to retire by 60 years old when I was in my 20s.
Oh, okay.
So that was my goal.
Yeah.
Or earlier.
Right.
But 60 seemed right for me at Yamaha. It seemed like the best time to do it from an organizational standpoint. And realistically, I put the date on the calendar 2 years ago.
Okay.
So we had 2 years to really plan and think about how we were going to make the transition. Very much a Yamaha thing, right? We're thinking about the future and what things need to change and organizationally how we can improve.
Right. Now, going back to your first days at Yamaha, what was that like? 1994, was it?
1994, January 28th. It was a very small organization at that point in time.
Really?
Yeah, very small. Because really
Yamaha USA.
Yamaha US, yes. I was one of the younger guys. There was probably a 10-year gap. Not a lot of hiring after the Honda-Yamaha wars.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of downsizing at that
point
in time.
The Honda-Yamaha wars.
That was back in the 80s, right?
Right.
So I kind of came in at a good time.
Yeah. Okay.
Before our time. But I came in, I was one of the youngest guys. The next youngest guy was almost 10 years older than me. So I was able to get a lot of responsibility early in my career.
They just said, hey, let's dump it all on this young guy here. Make him do all the
no
work.
Joke. No joke.
Well, I like to do that too. Now I got young, it's like I'm getting long in the tooth, and it's like I got young guys. Okay, here, you do that grunt work. I gotta,
Well, and
I gotta sleep.
I think people can step up to the occasion too, right?
Yeah.
That's how you learn.
Well, that's right, empowering
trial and error.
People.
Exactly.
You got it. So they empowered you and said, hey, run with it, right?
Right.
So that's part of leadership, I think, is like being able to say, I trust you to do it and do it right.
That's right.
And that's a hard thing to do for some people.
It is.
I've worked for all types of managers. Some are the micromanaging type that want to be in your, talk and have a billion meetings and, and it's like, just let me do it.
Well, and I think most people that move up in a career are usually really good at what they do. Mm-hmm. But moving away from doing what you do to managing people doing what you used to do is probably the hardest transition you'll ever make.
Right.
Because no one's ever going to do it like you did it.
Yep.
They might actually do it better, but it's different from how you did it in the past.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's hard.
I've had that where it's like, that's not how I do it. But you know what? Okay. I kind of go like, hey, just get it done. If the end result is good, I'm happy.
Right.
Yeah. How it happens, how the cookie dough is made and all that. There's a lot of ways to do it, right?
For sure.
So going to some of your highlights, the Rhino, I think, was kind of a big one because it really kind of invented this sport recreational market.
No doubt.
And what we see today in the side-by-side market is mostly as a result of what that Rhino did.
That's right. That's right.
And the mule was, it was out there for a long time, but it was a pure utility thing.
That's correct.
People didn't look at it like, hey, let me go ride on trails with it.
That's right. Right.
So
the mule, we had the Gators out there too, so everything was very utility focused at that time. And it was real interesting to me because I was still relatively young in my career as a product planner at the time for side-by-side and ATV. And, nobody asked for it.
Right. Was it a happy accident? Sort of like, hey, let's build it? Or were you purposely going, I want something you can trail ride?
Yeah, we were purposely going
Okay.
after that. So
Yeah.
nobody asked for it because it didn't exist. And we saw customers taking mules at the time, jacking them up, putting big wheels on them, taking them out hunting
Right.
with their families, doing stuff with that. Man, there might be a category there. So
Yeah. And we're back. Hey! I was doing that all day yesterday.
I love it.
Because then we got the laugh, or the,
Johnny Carson.
hey! And here's Mike. So yeah, we were talking about the Rhino.
Rhino, yeah. So Rhino was an extremely interesting project for us. We saw customers starting to take products like the Mule, jacking them up, putting bigger tires, longer travel suspension, and going out really mostly for hunting and some light trail riding. And that really sparked an interest in us. And to be honest, Japan, years before, and the U.S. had already developed different concepts.
Okay.
Sit-in style concepts.
Oh, okay.
Some single seat, some two seat. They never brought them to market. They didn't think it was the right time.
I remember the Honda Odyssey. That was the thing that
There you
as
go.
a kid I
and that
really
was a
wanted.
single seat,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So we saw
All
this
hand controlled. Too.
all hand control.
Yeah.
Yes. So we saw this as maybe an opportunity. So we started furthering developing a concept vehicle, and we all rode the concept vehicle in Japan. They developed it there, and we loved it. It's like, this thing's a home run. Everybody was excited
Yeah.
about it, and the concept was super simple. Super
Yeah.
simple. It was side-by-side dump bed and multi-seater seating capacity, and the trail or terrain ability of a Grizzly
Yeah.
ATV.
Okay.
That's
Right.
it. That was the whole concept.
Yeah.
No more detail than that on one
Right.
piece of paper.
So the Grizzly was already out.
Yes.
I mean, the ATV, you guys had already
yeah,
had.
it was the
Grizzly.
660 at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
660.
Was that the same engine then in the Rhino?
Same engine, first year.
Okay. Yeah.
Same engine in the Raptor,
Yep.
Grizzly, and Rhino.
Yep. Well, and so when I met Van, when I went on the first media event with Van and you guys for the Raptor 700 in Oregon,
Yeah.
Bend, which I go to Bend all the time, got family and stuff there. It was so much fun. I mean, and I was like, before that, I'd only ridden more or less like, utility ATVs, not
Right.
the sport ATVs,
Yeah.
not like that. And, I come from racing back. Anyway, my wife, she was like, you better not kill yourself out there. I'm like, I'm a pro. I'm not going to do anything dumb. The first thing I did was blast it up this hill, and there was a big rock right at the top, and I just, hit it, and the bike was fine. It went straight, ejected me right out the
geez.
side. I go flying off. I was fine. I've knocked my head enough times. It's not going to make any difference now. But then I was like, oh, I better slow it down. You got to
For
watch
sure.
out. So, but it was so much fun. It was everything. I mean, and from there, it's like everything you guys have done has always been first class. And the fit and finish of all your products.
Yeah.
I've been a big Yamaha fan before I ever got into this industry, But, so what are some of the other ones that you developed that you really, didn't you do the Grizzly 450?
Grizzly 450, that was at the time Kodiak 450.
Kodiak.
Yep,
Yeah,
Kodiak 450. And that was our first automatic utility model.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was a big transition for us.
Right.
It really changed the styling from a very blocky, more utility look to more recreation styling.
That's sport rec.
That was
kinda.
my first product planning model that I worked on.
Okay. So, you've done all these products. What would you say is something you're most proud of that you kind of brought to market or helped develop?
I'd say it was still the Rhino,
Yeah.
just because it did spawn a new industry, and I think today it's probably the number one profit center of most of our dealers is side-by-side.
Yep.
And the accessories that go
It's
with them.
huge. I mean, I was just looking at the numbers because we did in our latest issue. We've got a research group that we work with, Greg Bader, who you probably know,
Yeah.
PPM.
Yep.
And just talking about the volume of side by sides overall.
Yeah.
Even though it was down in 24 a little bit, it's still huge. It's as big or bigger than the two-wheel side.
Well,
you know,
and there's unit volume,
yeah,
but the dollar volume trumps everything.
Oh yeah, the margin and the volume.
That's the real business aspect, is the dollar volume.
Yeah. It's also changed, I think, on the UTV side, because dealers have had to make bigger spaces. They're like small cars.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
They're like, oh, we got to have different kind of lifts in here. We need bigger,
Doors need to be bigger.
Doors need to be bigger. My buddies up in Cleveland, they're a scooter shop. He's like, we have two-wheel doors. We don't have four-wheel doors.
Right.
We can't get anything through big enough to work on a four-wheeler.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it helps expand the industry, because now you can bring somebody out with you riding and enjoy the experience, and they don't need to have the same skill level.
Oh, yeah.
In the past, if you bring your wife and your kids and they're not as good of riders, not everyone's having a great time, because you have to go at a certain speed and certain terrain. So I think it just completely changed the landscape of off-roading.
I kind of equate it to like skiing. Like, you can ski with your wife and kids, but if you're a good skier, you have to slow, you're going down these hills like, yeah, okay, we're having fun. Or they're trying to keep up with you.
Exactly.
Whereas, you're, hey, ride with me.
Now you can do it together.
Yeah. And that's pretty sweet. And it's really open, from there, it's like now we have, 4-seater, 6-seater, these humongous ones.
Yep, for sure.
So I don't know what's next, we'll see. But, it seems like it's continuing to evolve. Of course, now they're looking more like trucks, as far as all automotive. I mean, what in your wildest dreams did you imagine, what the evolution of it and so quick?
Not whatsoever.
No.
I
mean, that was only like 2006 was the Rhino, right?
Yeah.
I still drive a car that's a 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
not
like that wasn't
ago.
that long ago to me. 19 years. Well, now 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, in that short span, things have really evolved quickly.
Absolutely.
So. But then now then you took on doing the motorsports and the racing side as well.
Right.
Tell me about what some of your best moments from there.
I'd say we had a pretty big reorganization back on the cusp of 2018, 2019, and we had probably half of our staff or more were in California.
Oh yeah.
2/3 of our staff were in California, office staff.
When you guys moved to Georgia, it was a transition. You had to make a coastal, big time.
So that was a really big change for us. And in the past, we had motorcycle operation, and we had the group that I ran, which was RV, ATV, side by side, and we were run as two separate organizations in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So when we made the move, we really consolidated back to a motorsports organization. We changed our branding and our marketing to be much more heavy emphasis on blue again.
Yeah.
Which we still love that color blue. It's our brand.
Yeah.
And you're going to see here in the future, we're actually expanding blue across all business units. So that is going to be a main marketing color again for Yamaha. And we're real proud of that, because
I do like the blue, but I'm also a big fan of that white and red kind of.
That's retro. That's awesome.
Retro.
1970s,
I think it's pretty,
yeah.
80s. That's kind of what I remember. And I raced a Yamaha go-kart, an RC 100, and I raced Yamaha motor, kart motors, the KT 100.
Yep.
It's like the Formula Ford motor of kart race. I mean, it's a, that engine's been around for so long, and it's still run today.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's amazing. And I've been on trips talking to you guys about that, how, someone would have them in the warehouse and kind of mess around, riding around with them and doing all that.
Sure.
You guys probably had a lot of fun back back in the day, or are people
times.
still doing, goofing around
of
like
course.
that? And it's kind of human nature.
Oh yeah. Well, we're in the industry, and that's why everyone
we're
got in the industry.
The fun industry, right?
That's right.
So
that's right.
What are your plans when you retire? I mean, you're still a pretty young guy.
Yeah.
60 is not old in my opinion. I'm 57, so.
Yeah, I'll be 60 next month.
Okay.
And I guess, as you can expect, I want to ride motorcycles more. So that's one of my main
Which is funny
goals.
that you work at a great motorcycle, and then it's like, I want to be able to ride more. But, you spend a lot of time working and being in meetings and
I
planning.
think if you ask most of us in the industry, we join the industry because we love either ATVs, side-by-sides, or motorcycles, and we probably don't get to ride as much as we want to.
Right.
You know, because you get busy.
No, it's true.
It's all consuming, right?
I wish I could ride more myself. You know, it's like, you know, people think like, oh yeah, you ride all the time. I'm like, no, I don't. Maybe, you know, a few times a year, really, depending on what the opportunities are. And I don't.
Exactly.
I've got like a scooter, and you know, I'd like a few, but it's hard. It's hard to get the time and, you know, and then where you want to go to you know.
And you got to wedge it in between other family obligations, right? So it's not easy. So that's definitely a huge priority for me. And I like doing a lot of adventure rides. You know, I'm a big fan.
Okay, I was going to ask you, what do you like to ride?
I'm a big fan of the BDRs.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think those guys have done
awesome.
such a phenomenal job. Like, I think that is going to continue growing that adventure business for us,
right?
And for everybody in the industry.
And you guys have been pretty active in the outdoor, you know, you've got your outdoor access
initiative. Yep. That's
which has been pretty successful and kind of helped lead to more trail riding and more experiencing the outdoors on 2 and 4 wheels. So,
absolutely.
You know.
And you know, we developed that initially. We didn't want trails to close down because everyone was afraid we were going to lose more trail systems.
Right. Because if you didn't maintain them or didn't have anyone to, you know, keep them up, somebody's going to come in and say, no, you can't, you know.
That's right.
We got to shut this down. It's
very easily.
Yeah. So you got to be able to keep active in it and say, no, we need this and we're using it, you know. Because if you don't use it, they'll take it.
That's right.
You know.
And we've been able to put about $8 million back into trail systems. So
that's awesome. That's amazing.
Pretty phenomenal.
Right.
Pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. You've done. So when you go ride, I mean, what do you ride? What's your? Do you like the Tenor? The
Tenerays, yeah. I've got Tenere. I got a Tenere 1200, Tenere 700. So those are kind of the two preferred bikes. Okay. The 1200 more for street, a little less off road.
Right.
T7 more for the off road stuff. You know.
Yeah. I think that's a good, you know, you got a good combo there. Do you do any of the, do you have like a side-by-side or anything? Or
I don't right now, I don't right now.
But
the street stuff is a little more.
You gonna go fishing or anything? What, you know, what's your?
A lot of fishing.
Golfing?
Motorcycle riding, fishing, and golfing. Those are my top 3 priorities.
I would say those are about, you know, if I get to that point someday, and I'm definitely motorcycling one, top one, then probably golfing. You know, that's the hard thing. It's like I'm a terrible golfer.
Yeah.
My dad would
I'm not great either.
My dad would always be like, "You don't have the temperament for golf," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right, because I suck."
Yeah,
you know?
right.
If I was good at it, I might enjoy it more, but you got to do it more to enjoy. You know,
that's
to
one of
better.
my goals. I got to improve my handicap for sure.
Go to the you know, Legends Golf or Top Golf, and you know, get a lot of tee time on the practice greens and stuff.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, what would you tell people coming into the, you know, when you were a young guy coming in, and you said you were kind of, you know, younger by a lot. But now, you know, with new guys come in, what would you tell them to focus on as they're kind of entering and starting their careers?
Yes. And that's one great thing about the position that I've had the last few years is coaching a lot of the younger people coming in, you know, and we've had a program with our local university, Kennesaw State University. We've had internships, and a lot of those kids coming off of internships, they have no experience at all in the industry.
Right.
But we wind up hiring about 50% of them, and most of them become enthusiasts. It's incredible.
That's pretty cool.
It's really changed my mind about if we can expose more people to our products and they have an avenue to get in. Right. Not everyone has a father or a mother or an uncle to get them into the industry.
Right.
There's a natural propensity for people to want to ride. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Really
you're absolutely right. We need to bring in more riders, and that means exposing more people to
giving them the opportunity,
able to ride. Yeah.
That's right.
Get the opportunity to ride, because, you know, I think, let's face it, most of us that are long in it, we all had somebody that gave us that opportunity, whether it was a parent or an uncle or a friend or whatever. We somehow got in and tried it at a young enough age to get hooked.
That's right.
To be like, I want to do this for a living.
Right. There's a barrier to entry, right? There's a little bit of a fear of getting in, but there's still a desire to.
Yeah.
Right? So that's important. And we did, you know, I'm getting off a little track here, but
that's all right.
We started Destination Yamaha several years back.
Okay.
And that is really to support local rental opportunities across the U.S. to get people
really important
to try something they've never tried before, and if they get hooked, they'll go buy one. Right? Right.
It's. I'm glad you mentioned that because my editorial director, he oversees like our brands. Also, mostly we have a beverage side, which is like alcohol retailers and beverage industry stuff. So that's like one half of the business, and that's more where he comes from.
Yes.
He's never ridden any kind of side-by-side or anything, but he goes to Alaska, and he did a rental, like a side-by-side rental, all Yamaha Wolverines.
That's right.
And he loved it. He was sending me pictures. 2
big rental partners up there.
Yep.
Right, and then he's hooked.
And he's hooked. He's like, now I get it. He goes, I get it. That's what, it's pretty neat. So it's really just having that, those rental opportunities to be able to test the waters a little bit and see, hey, this might be something I could do.
Yeah, for sure. But as far as young people that want to get in the industry, obviously there's a lot of different avenues. Trying to get experience, whether that's at a dealership, is a great way to get in through as a district manager or on the service side.
Yeah.
Depends on what you really want to focus on. You got to think about that. But I think just getting your foot in the door, I don't care what the job is.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, internships are a fantastic way
Absolutely.
to be, and if you perform well, it's like, if you perform well, there's a good chance you're going to get hired.
That's right.
By somebody.
And if you have a desire to work in this industry for a career, I'd work for free if I had to get back in.
Yeah.
Honestly, and once you're in, you just got to put your head down and work extremely hard at whatever you do.
That's true.
Work harder than the next guy. Stay a little later, come in a little earlier.
Yeah.
You'll eventually get recognized.
Yeah.
You really will.
Yep. If you do the work, and like you said, I think if you come in early, you don't have to be like 8 hours early, but come in early, stay late, get your work done, perform, and be a team player.
And be a team player. That's number one for me always.
Yeah.
And be a hand raiser for new projects.
Yeah.
Even if they're not within your job description, that's even better because you're going to learn something you didn't know before. You're going to work with somebody new, and you're going to grow your experience and your value for that company, whatever that company is.
Don't be a no person.
Never.
It's like some people just kind of default to no, and then they're like, well, you got to put your hand up, like you said, and just kind of be like,
the
I'm
first
going
one
to
in
try
the room.
it,
Absolutely.
Whether you can and then people will help you figure it out.
That's right.
And it's like you're not in it alone.
No.
You shouldn't be anyway.
No.
And I feel like a lot of people are afraid to take risks and do things outside of their comfort zone.
That's right. That's right.
And
I think too, whoever your managers are, they don't want to see you fail.
Right.
Their job is for you to succeed.
Yep.
That's their job.
Yep.
So they are going to support you.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. There's a lot of things that can kill a thing like that if you're not, you just kind of drop the ball on everything,
of
whatever. But if you're trying hard, don't be afraid to fail. You know?
That's right.
Don't be afraid to fail because we all fail at stuff.
Absolutely.
You just got to keep picking up and try it again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And, I think that's I guess when I look back on things too, not that I'm retiring anytime soon, but if I were, I'd be like, my biggest regrets are maybe not trying things more. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You got to go like, I had this opportunity, I didn't take it because maybe I was afraid of failing on it, and
that's true.
Or you're afraid to get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
So you got to.
That's the only way to grow is to get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Yep. And eventually that circle becomes bigger. Your comfort zone it expands, and then things you're not afraid to try other things because you've got more confidence.
And it opens up more opportunities.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You've got experience now. You've got a new opportunity to grow in this direction with the organization or the dealership.
Yeah.
So just go for it.
Yep.
You got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Well, yeah, this has been great. I would say, in closing, what do you see Yamaha in the next, going in the next few years? Is there any particular direction or any kind of, you already mentioned you're going to see more blue, we're going to see more blue for one, and, are there some big milestones or anything that you can think of that maybe we're going to hear in the next few years?
I think what you're going to see is an increase in overall branding, marketing across all of our business units.
Yeah.
Right? So we've been
a lot of business units.
Very siloed in the past. You know,
Yeah.
there's been motorsports, there's been marine,
Yep.
there's been watercraft, golf car. We are really working on more or less unifying
Being
some
like
of our
one.
marketing and also doing a lot more cross-selling and upselling for customers and
Okay.
making sure customers stay within the Yamaha family.
Yeah.
Because as you go through every stage of your life, you have different needs.
Right.
You know, you might start out on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
You may move to an ATV or a side-by-side. You might wind up buying a jet boat someday for your family, you know? So
It's true.
we want to keep
Those
that
needs
customer,
and interests kind of change a little bit. and
as you
shift.
grow, as your family changes, as you get older, your needs change. And usually if you're in the power sports industry, you're going to have fun with power sports no matter if it's on
Right.
land or on water.
Yep. It's true.
So that's really one
You
of
guys
our
have a
main
new
goals.
boat too. That new jet ski boat with
Oh,
like
yeah.
the fishing
Yes,
one. That,
yes.
Yeah. That one looks
Brand new
pretty cool.
concept.
It's a
Yes.
neat concept. So you guys have come up with some great concepts.
Oh, yeah.
Over the years, which that's what I like. The innovation of things, you know, from the Rhino to, you know, everything else in between.
Right.
You know, going into
Remember, Yamaha was the first four-stroke competition bike.
yeah, that's true.
And, you know, I was in that meeting when we were talking about the future.
That changed a lot of the
and,
stuff.
Well, and the funny thing is, half the room in there said, it can't be done. You can't make a four-stroke competitive against a two-stroke. They were
Right.
convinced.
Yeah.
The other half of the room said, everything's moving four-stroke in the future. We have to go in this direction. And what happened was, we had the YZ development team in Japan.
Yeah.
And this was not an official project.
Oh.
We call it an after five. So they took some of their own
We call
time.
it like a skunk works.
Skunk Works,
Yeah.
they call it after five. And they worked on a four-stroke engine to compete with a two-stroke.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. That
Because-
group took it upon themselves to do it.
Yeah, and it's amazing now, but what those 450 four-stroke motors, for instance, and I know there's the 250, but that 450 in particular, if you put 8 of them together, that's like a V8 motor. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
I've talked to Weisco, for instance, like they build pistons even for cars using a single-cylinder four-stroke motor, like a 450.
Yeah.
Because they can develop it. It's all about the developing the piston and getting the right kind of combustion curves and everything like that.
Right.
So it's amazing what you can do with that motor. They're a lot more complicated, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You know, but and I'm a two-stroke guy, so
Yeah, I understand.
You know,
There's a lot of two-stroke guys out there, and that's an awesome platform.
I
You
love
can work on it
two-strokes.
yourself.
Yeah, I just like but at the same time, I do like the four-stroke. I mean, it's the bottom end power and all that stuff it's amazing. But I mean, what's next? I don't know. Electric, I guess, but we'll see how that goes. Now, when you came out with the 450, were they 250s or the four-stroke going directly against two-strokes ever, or did they have to change the whole class?
Originally, we got the 400 at the time
Okay,
into a two-stroke race,
gotcha.
and eventually they changed the classes.
Okay.
And
And I know the tracks were also, they had, at the time, two-stroke, when it was the two-stroke class, some of the tracks were a little bit different. They had a little bit more rampier, now they're, a little bit more gradual, but they're still pretty
right,
intense.
based on the performance of the bike.
Yeah. So it's evolved over the years.
For sure,
so.
for sure. It's always changing. This
Yeah.
industry is always changing, and it's going to continue to change in the future. And 10 years from now,
We'll see.
who knows what's going to be.
I know, right? It might be like a gigantic indoor, supercross stadium.
That's the beauty of electric, too, right? You can have an
Right?
indoor stadium easily.
Yep.
Or
absolutely.
a warehouse.
Yeah,
where
that's
you
true.
can go ride in the city. We've thought about all these different concepts, and
Yeah.
there's still an opportunity for electric as the technology advances. It's not there yet
Yeah.
for battery and for other things. So as it advances, eventually it'll become.
I would love to see like an indoor track, sort of like how they have indoor karting with electrics, but maybe some kind of indoor where you could have a little indoor dirt electric, nothing
Absolutely.
super crazy, but where you could go and and have fun in the wintertime, you know, instead of going bowling, you know,
Right.
like us in Ohio.
Yeah.
We go bowling in the winter
Oh, yeah.
because, you know, it's too cold to do anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't have good ski slopes, you know.
That's right.
But, yeah, and now this year, isn't this Hayden Deegan's first year in the 450s coming up? Or
Well,
is
he'll be on the 250 for Supercross,
Okay.
and then he will move in motocross outdoor
to the 450.
to the 450.
Okay.
Yep.
So he's going to do another Supercross season in 450. Who's the Supercross team now at the 450? Is it
Webb.
Cooper Webb? Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I wish I could stay for the but I'm going to go to Supercross in Cleveland because it's the first year coming to Cleveland.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. April 18th. You'll be retired, so you'll be.
I might come up.
Is April?
I've got time.
Yeah, you'll have time. You'll be able to ride up. You know.
That's right.
Yeah. So, well, hey, Mike, thank you so much for being on. Really
you so much,
appreciate you
Brandon.
and wish
It's a
you all
pleasure.
the luck in your retirement
Thank
and
you.
hope your golf game gets better.
Me too.
You know?
It needs to. Appreciate
It will. All right, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you. Wait, and then hey, and we're out. There we go.
Oh, I like the last
I know. Yeah. If you like this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. We also invite you to connect with us on powersportsbusiness.com.